Good morning. Andy, did you sleep good last night after yesterday?
Oh yes.
This was not here yesterday.
No.
This was not here yesterday.
That was a long day.
It was a long day. So we've been here in Vegas for just about 24 hours. You were here earlier because you were procuring all of this fabulous product for us. And we've just had a great time setting up this booth.
This has been a wonderful experience, beyond a doubt. This is a great crew to work with, and I have just had an amazing time.
Me too, me too. And Vegas is just a wonderful place because we have the Mayosh location here. So getting the product is never a problem, especially when you're working with somebody like Andy who understands product, understands where it comes from, and cares so much about it. So I have enjoyed the process tremendously to get to develop this booth. And so we want to let you guys know what really goes into setting up a booth. We did a show in Chicago earlier, and it went so well that we decided we needed to do it again.
Yes, and when we were in Chicago, I actually attended a seminar. It was called 50 Shades of White. Had no idea what it was going to be about, but it turned out it was all about colors and how colors work with each other and what the trend colors were. And I got so much out of that, and I came back and I'm like, for our booth, it's Vegas. That's a happening place. I want color. But I don't want to get carried away with it. I want colors that blend, that accent each other. So I called Jody and I'm like, what do you think of green, purple, and blue?
So that's what we did. We did an analogous color scheme. And with our purple and blue and green, if you check out your color wheel, that's exactly what this booth is based upon, is the analogous color scheme. When you choose a color scheme, this is the thing I've really been a stickler about, is that you cannot deviate from that. We can't pull in reds, we can't pull in yellow, we cannot pull in orange, we just can't. And so people said, oh, this is so cool, can we show this? I'm like, nope, nope.
Well, that's been the learning part for me, because I'm from old school where you're gonna have a booth, you carry all these unusual products on a daily basis. We have to come in and wow people. We're gonna bring in 30 different unusual things, and it turns into a kaleidoscope. Imagine trying to look into a kaleidoscope and focus on one or two things, and your eye is just going to do this.
And that's really hard to communicate to people, because we're doing it as Mayosh Wholesale. That's what this booth is. But all of the customers of Mayosh are doing booths either in their local area, they're doing them for bridal shows, they're doing them for local expos in their area. And there are just some basic rules that Andy and I have learned from each other about how to set up a booth. Where do you start? So I always recommend, and Andy can tell you from experience, that landing on color, what is your color, and define that first, and then you can add the other elements to stay consistent with that palette and with that theme. But the key is, do not deviate, because you're telling a story, you're communicating with color. So you have to decide, what am I saying? What is my story? How do I communicate with clarity of purpose and intent with color? The next part of the story, the real bones of the story, is knowing that you have fantastic products to deal with. And that's the beauty of working with Mayosh. I've gotten to set up a lot of booths as a freelance florist, and working with Mayosh, working with Andy, is an incredible experience. It's easy, it's fun, they get it, they're smart, and they bring an incredible, unique, boutique product that you don't see everywhere. And that's what sets Mayosh apart, and sets apart the designers that get to use it. So in our booth, we're featuring so many fantastic things. We have anemones that are, talk about the anemones.
Oh, the anemones are amazing. Local grower out of California grows very little variety, but his anemones are just unbelievable. They, I mean, you could see how they open, they hold up, his colors are vibrant, he's got purples, there's burgundies, blues, hot pinks, reds, whites.
And the color is also amazing in these anemones. Sometimes when you get anemones, they can be really, really small, but these are bigger than an Oreo cookie. And they have a lot of petal count for an anemone. They're fantastic, they're really firm. I love the size, because sometimes you get an anemone and it's like little, and sometimes it's, these are nice. These are some of the bigger ones that I've seen, and they're fantastic. And there's purple, all kinds of wonderful purple colors. What's your favorite purple that we brought in?
Of all this product?
Yeah.
I have to say these Vonda orchids.
The Vonda, he says Vonda, I say Vanda, you say potato,
I say potato.
I love, my saying is that I picked up from some friends is life is better with a Vanda. So anytime you use a Vanda, it's like when in doubt, put a Vanda in it. I love Vandas. And we've got like 3 or 4 different varieties happening throughout the booth. So I'm just all like, very excited about
Vanda
that.
heaven.
And then we have our really controversial, dun dun dun, the blue, the dyed product, which consumers like it, especially the younger generation. Snobby florists like me who've been doing this forever are like, wah, wah, don't love it. But there's a way to use it and it not be heinous and tacky. You just got to check it out and you'll be able to judge for yourself. But when you tell that story, we kept it all blue with the hydrangeas, with the flocked tulips, which I know some people are like, ah! But you know what? We have to educate our consumers on this is how you design with this. This is how this looks good. Yes, this can look great for this application. There's a way to make it work. And so that's really what we've established here in the booth is how to work with some of the dyed product.
Well, and again, the love or hate it. We put a picture of the dyed blue Cymbidium up on our Facebook page, not having any idea what was going to, and it blew up. And it was very clear lines. It was, I like it or I hate it.
There's no in between. There's no in between. But here in Vegas, people can really respond to it. And I've just been watching people this morning as the exhibitors are wandering the floor, and I just watch their eyes where it goes to, because it's something that stops them in their track. And because we used it all blue, all together, didn't mix a lot of it in, it translates really well. And it's the wow factor piece of the booth is the little archway that we created with the tulips and the bubble bowls and the dyed Cymbidiums. And the hanging amaranthus is like so thick and heavy, it's like dreadlocks. It's fantastic. It's product that people are going to respond to on an emotional level. Love it, hate it. It'll be interesting to see how people respond. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do when everybody shows up here in a little bit.
Well, and blue in a flower, you're so limited in natural blue flowers. So sometimes you just have to take that other route.
You do, and you just have to understand design, that this is how you can put it together and it not be a crime against humanity, that it translates, people can love it, it doesn't have to be hideous and heinous and horrible. I think it's really, really cool, and I think we'll see it. I think a lot of designers are going to take it, and we're going to see this showing up on blogs and on covers of magazines. They're really going to take this. I'm just pretty convinced that we're going to see this look again. But you saw it here first at Mayosh booth.
That's
with
right.
Fabulous Mayosh product and people. Here first. So from Vegas, I'm Jody Duncan, AIFD, your design star, and I'm here
with Andy Arthur, buyer from the Detroit location.
And thanks for joining us in Vegas.